Welcome everyone. Thanks for watching my videos, by the way. Just wanted to preface this video by saying that might be a little bit of a ramble in this video. I'm going to try to stay on topic, but sometimes it's a little difficult for me. I don't script these videos, as you can see. I kind of just speak free form. And maybe in the future, when I have a little bit more time, I can really sit down and script each video that I create. But for now, I'm just going to speak straight from what I'm feeling, straight from the heart. Today, I want to talk about the legacy system and how this is one of the first things that really drew me to this project. If you can remember back last year, one of Charles Hoskinson's first whiteboard videos, he talked about the legacy system. And what is the legacy system? This could be thought of as like the old world system. We're talking about banks, traditional infrastructure, which is running the entire world today, or it's the backbone of the world today. And this whole idea of being interoperable and being able to communicate and work with these legacy systems is very powerful because it really shows you the extent of what Cardano plans to do in the future. There are a lot of projects out there. I don't want to bring up too many names, but let's start with Bitcoin and maybe we can move to some privacy coins. That the communities are so focused on the death of the legacy system, which I don't really understand. A little background. I spent 2 years living in a very rural town in Mississippi. And, you know, I think this is why there's some kind of divide in our country to start off with. It seems that people from cities or more affluent areas don't really understand what's going on in the rest of the country. I mean, this town it just had a Walmart. There's no Uber, there's no Postmates, there's no Poshmark, there's no Caviar, Uber Eats, and all these delivery services. There's none of that. There's none of that. You take your car and you drive to the most rural, remote location that you can think of. You know, it's like a 1-lane highway and you just go in and you go out. That's it. There's a Walmart, there's a gas station, there's a couple shops here and there, but things look desolate. And the reason why I bring this up is because it's great that we're all, I know people hate banks. I know people hate the legacy system. But at the end of the day, it's not going anywhere. There are people that are still unbanked in our country, in our own country. Travel to poor parts of America and you can see it. You can see it. I lived in Mississippi. I lived in the poorest state in the United States. And I can tell you for a fact that most of the town was unbanked. And, you know, there's no Bank of America, there's no Wells Fargo, there's just a local bank that they can access. So this whole idea of, you know, people maybe being 20, 30 years ahead, you have to remember people are not going to take a jump from this A to Z. They've got to take some intermediary steps. Banks, you know, I know they've done bad things in the past. I know the CEOs have laundered money and stuff like that. But, you know, let's be real. The banks aren't going anywhere. And we really don't want them to go anywhere. I mean, this is not the French Revolution. We're not going to go chase the bank executives and bring everyone's head on a platter and, you know, bring them to the city square and, you know, show them that the people are mad. It's not like that anymore. You know, people go to the banks for trust, for security, and it needs to stay like that. You know, all these people in the crypto community, at the end of the day, you've got to choose which camp you're on. You know, are you in the camp deaf to the banks, give me all your money banks, and deaf to the banks? If you're on that side, that's fine. But realize that you should not ask for an ETF. You should not ask for institutional money to come in. You should not ask for anything. You should be happy with the market cap right now, and that's what it's going to be forever. Because this is what the crypto market looks like without institutional money. And I would argue that there's some institutional money already in. So let's divide that by, I don't know, maybe a factor of 10. And then you should be completely happy. You should be able to trade up and down, you know, your 10% swings, and you should be happy for the rest of your life. Because you can't ask for something and then be against it at the exact same time. So please understand that. So moving back to Cardano. Charles Hoskinson said that he wants to work within the legacy system. He wants to be able to migrate the legacy systems onto the blockchain, which is very important. Right now, you know, most banks, they use ancient architecture. You know, a lot of legacy systems use ancient architecture. Go to your local doctor's office, see how they keep medical records. Go to the bank, see how, I mean, just look at your local bank. You know, how long does it take for them to upgrade ATM machines? And you can tell that the software behind the machines, it's very slow, it's not responsive. You're always like, oh, why can't they just, you know, use an iPad or something like that? There are reasons why this doesn't happen, because we're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars, hundreds of billions of dollars, even maybe trillions of dollars flowing through this ecosystem. They can't upgrade like this. They buy a system, and if that system provides the security that they need, they're not going to upgrade it. There's a reason why your airplane, the back consoles on the, you know, there's a reason why the TVs in the back of the airplane, they look the way they do. They're old, you know, it's hard to hack them, it's hard to find exploits. Everything has to be taken very slowly. I mean, you're always like, oh, you know, I can have a, you know, 20-inch screen in my car. I can put a 20-inch screen in my car. Why can't they put that in the airplane? There's reasons why these changes are very slow and methodical. So the COBOL system, it's an old architecture of the banking system, but it works. It works. So how is a bank that uses this system going to migrate to the blockchain? You know, Cardano was saying that it's important for metadata to be swapped between bank and between crypto. So the metadata is basically the information behind the transactions. These are Fortune 500 companies we're talking about here. You think they don't want to know the details of each transaction that's happening? They can't just say money just appeared out of thin air and say, oh, you know, well, money does appear out of thin air, but I'm talking about individual transactions that are taking place within the ecosystem. They need to know that Bob put $5 in this account and then debited his account $2. They can't have all these superfluous details or lack of details if they're putting it inside the system. So that being said, Cardano's plan is to work within the system to provide the metadata in order for the transactions to be more seamless and the bank to really understand crypto. So if you want crypto being offered at your bank, they're going to have to exchange data, exchange information. And then you may say, oh, wow, why would I do that? My information is compromised. Well, you know, if you bought your Bitcoin or any cryptocurrency on an exchange and maybe not in the black market, chances are your information is already out there. It's more trackable to track Bitcoin and whatnot than it is to track traditional fiat. If you look at crime syndicates and people that are involved in the dark world, what do? You think you go to their house, you think they just have a computer, a whole bunch of computers with running Coinbase and mining and stuff like that? No, they keep cash because that's the easiest way to avoid detection. I mean, you have large bundles of cash. The only way for people to find out is for someone to kick your door in. That being said, we're moving towards a future where we need all systems to be interoperable. So communications between new systems, novel systems, the advanced nature of Cardano, and legacy systems, old banking systems, need to be migrated together. This is going to provide the synergy, liquidity, and flow that we need in order to grow this to the next level. We need to be responsible in how we view legacy systems. Yes, they're bad, but we do need this money coming into the ecosystem. The system will change slowly, but banks aren't going away. The dollar is not going to die anytime soon. My advice is try not to polarize yourself with these extreme views of one has to go down, the other has to rise. They can both rise simultaneously. And, you know, sometimes the building next door can see the beautiful construction of that other building and maybe add layers from their building to our building. So let me know what you think. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for all the support. Until the next video.